Dr. Ming San is the chief scientist of Appier, and his background has very much been in the study of computer vision, deep learning, and all that it takes in the back end to explore what can be done possible to build an agile retail organization. And this will dovetail very well from the earlier discussion that Tencent has shared with us around what's happening in the marketplace, what is evolving in terms of consumer behavior and the expected changes in the coming years. More importantly, we need to be ready to service and understand who our new customer is, or rather the new behavior of our customer, and how best we can continue to support them. So with that, I'm going to hand you over now to Dr. Ming San from Appier to share with you his presentation. Ming San, over to you.
Thank Oliver for the introduction, and this is really my great pleasure to meet all of you guys in a very trending way, which is online virtual conference. So I'm Ming San. I'm the chief AI scientist from Appier. Today I'm going to share with you about AI in the smart retail era. A little bit more about myself. I have about 15 years research and development experiences in the AI domain. And more specifically, I focus in computer vision, using AI to understand image data, and also natural language processing using AI to understand natural text data. And behind these two domains, we are heavily relying on deep learning as a machine learning tool and also reinforcement learning. And before joining Appier 2 years ago, I'm an associate professor from National Tsinghua University in Taiwan. And for the past 2 years, I indulged myself in the big data that Appier has been utilizing to create AI tools to help our customer, which is enterprise, to use AI to improve their digital marketing performance. So I will be sharing my point of view from an AI expert point of view. And to start with, I want to highlight that technology is really the key driver to foster the next retail transformation. And it has been happening again and again and again. So, for example, the first revolution of retail is the rise of department store, led by Messi. And the revolution is coming out of directly the first industrial revolution, where we find a way to use machine to replace manpower, and this gives us ability to do mass production. And the second industrial revolution is replacing steam engine with electronic technology. And with this technology, we can realize open shelf sales, delivering and cashier checkout. And this ignites the second revolution, which is the rise of supermarket led by Walmart. Later, we enter the third industrial revolution. At the beginning, we have computers, and using computer, we can build post machine to enable to serve a large-scale operation while reducing the operation cost and also improving store efficiency. And this leads to the third revolution, which is the rise of chain store like 7-Eleven. And later on in the third industrial revolution, we have internet, mobile device, and this basically enables retail to be even more far-reaching, which given to the fourth revolution, the rise of e-commerce led by Amazon, Alibaba, or JD. And now we are in the fourth industrial revolution, where smart technology like AI, big data, cloud computing, and IoT is going to empower the next retail transformation. And in the new retail transformations, there are three important players: customer, the merchandise and store, and they're going to utilize the smart technology to mingle, join together, and become more efficient. And also in 2020, COVID-19 comes, so the whole revolution is speed up way faster than expected. So indeed, we are at a very interesting and exciting era in terms of the technology transforming retail space. And we can also find that at the beginning, we are only optimizing the power. When computer comes, we are optimizing our systems to improve the productivity. And nowadays, we're utilizing all the data and going to optimize the algorithm to analyze the data and provide much more detailed service to our customers. So, among those smart technology, I believe AI is really the key technology, and let me tell you why. First of all, the first beauty of AI is AI can be used to discover multiple variables or factors relationship much more efficient than human intelligence. And AI could also be used to handle very high dimensional data at a very large scale. And finally, given a very quantifiable goal, AI can be used to continuously optimize towards that goal without sleeping. So given these three capability of AI works perfectly with the other three smart technology. First, it works perfectly with big data. Big data accumulated at the global scale can let AI to analyze and learn from the user pattern, And later come the cloud computing technology. We can store more big data in the cloud and also train and run the computing of AI on the cloud to be able to scale to a global scale. And recently, we also have IoT that collects more sensory data accumulated on our big data platform to be analyzed by AI. And in the future, IoT device can also be controlled to take actions according to the decision generated from AI. And not only that, AI is a general purpose technology, can already be used in many different places of the smart retail process. If we take the process into three stages, the first is the R&D and production stage. AI has been used to optimize the production flow to increase the yield rate by analyzing the data generated in the production process. AI is also being used in a lot of robotics to make your warehouse automated with less human workers in your warehouse. In the distribution and marketing stage, AI is also being used behind the natural language processing to analyze your product features at a very large scale automatically. Also, AI could be used to analyze users' pattern to map user into specific interests and to know your customer more. Finally, at the customer service and user experience stage, AI is behind the voice recognition technology and also behind the chatbots that give you a more natural way to communicate through a digital platform. And AI is also behind the emotion recognition technology. So AI can analyze your facial expression, your voice, tone in your voice, and to understand your preference in respect to viewing different products. And AI is already heavily used in digital marketing for retail. And let me use the sales funnel to illustrate 4 important applications of AI. At the top of the sales funnel, our goal is to acquire more users. But the challenge here is not all users are having equally the same value. The goal here should be focusing on acquiring high long-term value users. And in order to come up with a successful solution, what we need to do is really aggregate the data both online and offline to have a holistic view of all the potential customer you wanted to approach and use AI to identify the high ROI-based user and acquire them when they show intent to interact with your product. Second layer down the funnel, once you have acquired a new user, you need to enrich the user by keep on re-engaging with the user. And the challenge here is you need to engage the right user segment with the right personalized information at the right time through the right channel. And this could be a daunting task if you want to ask a human to optimize it. But using AI, again, we could analyze data in a very detailed way and automate the user engagement solution to really send out personalized information to the right user segments. And after engagement, we're down to the conversion stage, which is very important because at the end of the day, we really want to reach a desired performance goal for all the retail customers. And at this stage, we could also leverage AI to analyze the subtle difference in users' behavior and identify the hesitant customers. And once you identify those hesitant customers, we could decide to approach them, giving them the same incentives, such as free shipping, a certain % off, and to enhance the conversion rates. And finally, down the funnels, once in a while, we'll still find user gradually become a dormant user. So how could you, again, use AI to analyze the data to identify the potential dormant user before it really becomes a dormant user? And among them, also put a lot of attention on the high long-term value user. We really want to reactivate those high-value dormant users, again, using AI to identify what is the correct incentive to incentivize the user. And in this funnel, through these 4 different solutions, we could really help our retail customer to reach their desirable performance goal. So, as I showed, digital marketing already has many AI applications, and for the other retail process, there's still a lot of opportunity. So here I'm going to show you example of 4 different ways to apply AI in the smart retail process in the future. And I group them into first, automation. We can let machine take over the repetitive task for automation. Second, a scenario-based approach to provide better experience based on consumption scenario using AI. And thirdly, we heard a lot using AI for personalizations, and it really often means a personalized recommendation system based on data analysis. And finally, specializations. AI solution can handle more professional tasks, depends on certain vertical needs. So that first talk about the automation part. So automation already happens a lot in factories. Here I show you 2 different examples that happened in the store and a warehouse. First, Walmart has launched a shelf scanning robot and put into 50 different stores. And using this robot, they can automatically scan the inventory and also figure out the expired products and reduce cost of a human worker. And another very interesting example is used in a warehouse. We know that a lot of warehouse robots already automate the process of moving product around, but you still need a human to pick up the product from the shelf and put it into package. And here's a very interesting startup called XYZ Robot, which is a spin-off from an MIT team. They launched a fully automatic goods to robot pickup system that could pick up all kinds of variety of products by using AI to identify the grasping points. And once a product grasping point is identified, they will select different gripper to grab the specific object. with very high successful rate. And I believe this will be continues to adopt in many countries' warehouse also due to COVID-19. Next, let's talk about the service-based examples. So Zara has shown self-checkout robots can be used to simplify the order and pickup process. So the robot can pick up items when the customer enters the code in the store. So this is going to also be a very interesting use case in COVID-19 because using a self-checkout robot, we can reduce the chance of our customer contacting the clerk in the store. Another very similar example to enable contactless is Starbucks unveiled their My Starbucks Barista application, which is using AI technology behind a mobile phone to take order via voice command or instant messaging without waiting in line. And once you place the order, you can go to a physical store and grab the coffee and go without contacting any human clerk. Second is about personalized recommendation services. One example is West Elm leveraged Pinterest's Style Finder app to automatically scan the furniture style that consumer may like and recommend home decoration and product to the user in a personalized way. And to a more extreme, Uniqlo has shown a demonstration using AI to analyze customers' reaction while they're browsing clothes in different color and style and make personalized recommendation to the customer. So although the example I'm showing here is a customer in a physical store, but as long as we have smart device has camera and microphone, the same emotion recognition technology can be used to generate personalized recommendation. Finally is a more specialized solution in different vertical. One example is pharmacy chain store like Walgreens. They're using AI to analyze the antiviral prescriptions in their records to track the spread of influenza, and they could very rapidly increase their medical inventories. And Oakley is a skin advisor vertical company. They have developed a skin advisor app that can analyze user skin condition and also provide personalized skincare product recommendation. And those two are very unique solutions in the pharmaceutical space as well as the skincare product space. And I believe more specialized solutions can be developed in the future. So going back to the overall small retail scene, other than different examples that I mentioned, I wanted to highlight that, again, data is the key in the future to really drive innovation and activate retail business. And in the smart retail space, as I mentioned early, there are three players: the customers, the store, and merchants. And I can see in the future data can be utilized across those three players to, for example, come up with a more human-oriented solution to understand our customer and getting closer to the customer intent at a much recency rate. And for the stores, we will have to face a lot of different consumption scenarios, both offline and online. And AI can be used to analyze the data behind and conduct the better allocation of resource at different online consumption scenarios to face the big fast-changing situation, especially during COVID-19. And if we could feed the customer intent data also to the merchandise, then we can build up a new production model, for example, a customer directly to merchandise, customized production type of services. And in those services, price is not the first priority. It is the value added to their specific niche user are the key. So my last slide, I wanted to again highlight data is going to influence the whole smart retail era. So we could put 3 different stages into a timeline, and the process is going from left to right, but the feedback data is going to from the right to left. And once data are flowing and influenced through the whole process, at the R&D and production stage, in the future, we could realize the on-demand production for the niche customer. And in the middle, for the distribution and marketing stage, we can use data to, and also AI to really automate the resource allocation across multiple channels and reduce the human operation that needed to operate in multiple channels, especially we're going to see more and more in the future. And lastly, in the customer service and user experience stage, we already see chatbot or other types of intelligent assistants, and behind the scene, it is truly AI technology that analyzing data, analyzing user interaction, and try to provide more personalized service. And many apps nowadays is also heavily being used by customers, and especially super apps that integrate various services. They're all going to be able to collect much more variety of data, and behind the scene, AI is the key to really analyze and the holistic view of a user and really give them the service that satisfies users' needs. Right, and that's pretty much what I want to share today, and I'm welcome for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vincent. Indeed, what you've shared with us is certainly very eye-opening.